Welcome to Audit the Audit, where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers license plates, warrantless searches, and officer drug abuse, and is brought to us by the Civil Rights Lawyers channel. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. Before we dive into the interaction, I want to give a big thanks to the sponsor of this episode, Fume. Cold turkey may be great on sandwiches, but there's a better way to break your bad habits. We're not talking about some weird mind voodoo or sacred crystals from your crazy neighbor. We're talking about our sponsor, Fume, and they look at the problem in a different way. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. And instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses all natural, delicious flavors. You get it. Instead of bad, Fume is good. It's a habit you're free to enjoy and makes replacing your bad habit easy. It fills the void in a natural, guilt-free way. Your Fume comes with an adjustable airflow dial and is designed with movable parts and magnets for fidgeting, giving your fingers a lot to do, which is helpful for de-stressing while breaking your habit. Fume just launched the Base earlier this year, which is a weighted stand to rest your Fume on when not in use, with a magnet inside that keeps your Fume attached. The Base lets you spin and fidget with your Fume device and gives it a neat place to rest while not in use. I personally love the Base because it looks awesome and is really fun to spin. Stopping is something we all put off because it's hard, but switching to Fume is easy, enjoyable, and even fun. Fume has served over 150,000 customers and has thousands of success stories, and there's no reason that can't be you. Join Fume in accelerating humanity's breakup from destructive habits by picking up the Journey Pack today. Head to tryfume.com/audit or scan the QR code and use code AUDIT to get 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. That's tryfum.com and use code AUDIT to save an additional 10% off on your order today. Thanks again to Fume for sponsoring today's episode. On July 5th, 2019, local resident Ramon Brown was driving to a gas station in Minneapolis, Minnesota in a recently purchased vehicle when he noticed Officer Ty Jindra of the Minneapolis Police Department driving behind him for several blocks. When Mr. Brown pulled into the gas station, Officer Jindra followed without activating his emergency lights. After Mr. Brown parked at a pump and exited his vehicle, Officer Jindra approached him. The interaction that followed was captured by Officer Jindra's body camera.
You gotta have that temp tag down, man. Temp tag needs to be down lower.
Is it up high?
625. Why don't you just sit in the car?
What'd I do?
625. Sit in the car. Get in the car. That's expired, is it not?
Well, what did I do?
Sit in your car. Sit in the car. All right, I'll take your license and your proof of insurance.
What did I do?
Hey, I need your license and proof of insurance. Your temp tag is expired. Can I be any more clear to you?
I got the registrations right there. That's what I was trying to tell you.
You need to have license plates on your car.
Officer Jindra orders Mr. Brown to present his driver's license and proof of insurance, citing an expired temporary tag and the absence of license plates on his car. And Mr. Brown attempts to clarify that his license plate is visible in the rear window. Under Section 168.092 of the Minnesota statutes, individuals who purchase a new or used motor vehicle may obtain a 21-day temporary permit, which must be affixed to the rear of the vehicle where a license plate would normally be affixed and plainly visible. However, because Mr. Brown's temporary permit was expired, he would need to display license plates in a manner that complied with state law. According to Section 169.79 of the Minnesota statutes, one license plate must be displayed on the front of the vehicle and one license plate must be displayed on the rear. The statute also requires that, now quoting, all plates must be 1. Securely fastened so as to prevent them from swinging, 2. Displayed horizontally with the identifying numbers and letters facing outward from the vehicle, and 3. Mounted in the upright position. According to the statute, the driver must also keep the plate legible, unobstructed, and free from grease, dust, or other blurring material so that the lettering is plainly visible at all times, and may not cover any letters and numbers or the name of the state of origin, now quoting, with any material whatever, including any clear or colorless material that affects the plate's visibility or reflectivity. Although the statute does not explicitly state that the license plate must be mounted on the exterior of the vehicle and cannot be displayed in the rear window, it has generally been interpreted to require such exterior display, and in an Ask a Trooper column for the Albert Lee Tribune, Tribune, Sergeant Troy Christensen of Minnesota State Patrol wrote that, quote, license plates must be displayed on the front and rear of the vehicle. They cannot be displayed in the front windshield or rear window. The fact that Section 169.79 requires the license plate to be mounted and prohibits covering the license plate with any material, which would arguably include a glass windshield, supports this interpretation. Further, Section 169.50 of the Minnesota statutes requires that the license plate be illuminated with a white light by a rear lamp or a separate license plate lamp so as to render the license plate legible from a distance of 50 feet to the rear, and such a requirement could not be met by a license plate placed in the rear windshield. In the 2008 case of Frazier versus Commissioner of Public Safety, the Minnesota Court of Appeals held that an officer had reasonable suspicion to conduct a traffic stop when a vehicle's license plate was partially obstructed by snow, in violation of the requirement of Section 169.79 that drivers keep their license plates unobstructed. In reaching this conclusion, the court reasoned that, quote, our cases do not require much of a showing in order to justify a traffic stop. Ordinarily, if an officer observes a violation of a traffic law, however insignificant, the officer has an objective basis for stopping the vehicle. As such, it is likely that a court would conclude that Officer Gindra had probable cause to detain Mr. Brown based on the observed license plate violation.
Give me your license and your proof of insurance, or you're going in handcuffs.
All my registration tags.
No proof of insurance?
That last squad may be at 3rd and Franklin. I don't believe there's a BP at 3rd and Nicollet.
3rd and Franklin. Alright, step out of the car.
Copy.
Throw translator back.
And 5050 start to back above. Copy.
Why are you driving without a license, man? Huh? That's kind of stupid, isn't it? Huh? Let's go. You got anything illegal in the car? Spread your feet. Take a seat. 6580 on code 4.
Copy, code 4, 2257. 532 is clear. Copy.
Hi, can I help you?
Copy. We'll be out on 1 gallon 12.
After Mr. Brown provides Officer Gindra with an identification card rather than a driver's license, Officer Gindra handcuffs Mr. Brown, places him in the cruiser, and conducts a thorough vehicle search. Under Section 171.08 of the Minnesota statutes, quote, every licensee shall have the license in immediate possession at all times when operating a motor vehicle, and shall display it upon demand of a peace officer. However, the statute clarifies that, now quoting again, no person charged with violating the possession requirement shall be convicted if the person produces a driver's license previously issued to that person which was valid at the time of arrest, or satisfactory proof that at the time of the arrest the person was validly licensed. Now, while Officer Gindra could have used Mr. Brown's ID card to determine whether or not Mr. Brown was actually licensed, the statute would not require him to do so, and it is likely that a court would conclude that Officer Gindra had probable cause to arrest Mr. Brown for failing to display his driver's license, which would likely render the use of handcuffs and placing Mr. Brown in the cruiser lawful. However, even if a court found Officer Gindra's restraint of Mr. Brown to be constitutional, it would almost certainly determine that the search of Mr. Brown's vehicle was not. Although the Supreme Court held in the 1983 case of Michigan versus Long that, quote, the search of the passenger compartment of an automobile is permissible if the police officer possesses a reasonable belief that the suspect is dangerous and the suspect may gain immediate control of weapons, Officer Gindra had no reason to suspect that Mr. Brown was dangerous, and at the time he conducted the search, Mr. Brown was secured in handcuffs in the backseat of the cruiser, which would eliminate any possibility that he might gain immediate control of any weapons that could be hidden in the vehicle. Likewise, while there are situations where officers may conduct a warrantless search of a vehicle after they place a recent occupant under arrest, as the Supreme Court explained in the 2011 case of Davis versus United States, such a search is only constitutional, now quoting, if the arrestee is within reaching distance of the vehicle during the search, or if the police have reason to believe that the vehicle contains evidence relevant to the crime of arrest. Here, Mr. Brown was secured in the police cruiser, and as the the so-called crime of arrest would be failing to display a driver's license or driving without a license, there would be no reason to believe that relevant evidence would be found in the vehicle. It should be noted that the Supreme Court determined in the 1976 case of South Dakota versus Opperman that officers may conduct a warrantless so-called inventory search of a vehicle that is being lawfully impounded, and had Officer Jindra chosen to charge Mr. Brown and impound his vehicle, the search may have been considered reasonable under the Fourth Amendment if it was conducted according to department inventory search procedures. However, because Mr. Brown was ultimately released and the vehicle was not impounded, the search could not be justified as an inventory search. As such, it is highly probable that a court would conclude that Officer Jindra's search of Mr. Brown's vehicle was unconstitutional.
What's your buddy got in your car? What is it? What is this? Huh? What does that look like to you? You don't know? No idea, huh? What would you guess it'd be?
I have no idea.
You have no idea? Alright, I'll just tell you.
That's not mine.
While searching the vehicle, Officer Jindra appears to find a white powdery substance inside some folded currency, although the alleged discovery of the item was not captured by Officer Jindra's body camera, and Mr. Brown denies knowledge or ownership of the substance. In addition to denying any knowledge of the substance during the interaction, a lawsuit that Mr. Brown filed concerning this interaction alleges that the white powdery substance did not belong to Mr. Brown or his friend, and that Officer Jindra brought the substance to the interaction and planted it in Mr. Brown's vehicle. After a pattern of similarly so-called questionable citizen encounters was identified, Officer Jindra was investigated by the FBI and was eventually charged with multiple counts of acquiring a controlled substance by deception in violation of Section 843A3 of Title 21 of the U.S. Code, which states that, quote, "It shall be unlawful for any person knowingly or intentionally to acquire or obtain possession of a controlled substance by misrepresentation, fraud, forgery, deception, or subterfuge." As summarized in a press release issued by the U.S. Department of Justice, the indictment alleged that from at least September of 2017 through at least October of 2019, Officer Jindra abused his position as a Minneapolis police officer to obtain controlled substances, including methamphetamine, heroin, oxycodone, cocaine, and other drugs for his personal use. Specifically, the indictment charged that Officer Jindra diverted drugs that he confiscated from lawful searches of persons and vehicles for his own purposes without reporting, logging, or placing the substances into evidence, and without informing other officers about the controlled substances that he had confiscated. Additionally, the indictment asserted that Officer Jindra would find ways to interact with or search an individual, vehicle, or residence so that he could surreptitiously recover controlled substances, including by conducting searches beyond the scope warranted under the circumstances. Now, although Officer Jindra was not charged with a drug-related crime stemming from his encounter with Mr. Brown, Officer Jindra was also charged with 3 counts of deprivation of rights under color of law. One of these counts alleged that Officer Jindra willfully deprived Mr. Brown of the right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures in violation of Section 242 of Title 18 of the U.S. Code, which prohibits willfully subjecting another individual to the deprivation of their constitutional rights under color of law. Now, although no one but Officer Jindra can know his true intentions during the encounter with Mr. Brown, it seems likely that a court would find that he intended to deprive Mr. Brown of his rights when he searched his vehicle in violation of the Fourth Amendment.
And that's why I was trying to explain to you that the plates and the registrations is all right there in the window.
Alright.
Can I show you?
I'm gonna give you a break. You have the license, you know that, right?
Yes, but because I was just using my brother's car. Can I show you the plates?
Go ahead.
I'll show you. The guy who you bought the car from, he told my brother, he said, don't put him on until June 2nd. He said, don't put him on until...
Well, it's July.
Oh, well, yeah, I know. But he been having a car sitting.
Alright. Well, put him on.
Should have a yellow tag then.
I just pulled off because it expired a month ago.
That's what I'm saying. It's my brother's car. I didn't...
Alright.
I just barn.
Alright.
Alright.
Alright. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you.
Officer Jindra allowed Mr. Brown to leave without charging him with any offenses or issuing any citations. Sometime in 2019, the Minneapolis Police Department Internal Affairs Division commenced an investigation into Officer Jindra's conduct after he went into a house while paramedics were treating a man for an overdose on the front lawn. Body camera footage showed Officer Jindra searching inside the home before he turned off the camera for no apparent reason. As part of the investigation, the department discovered other body camera footage showing other encounters where Officer Jindra appeared to detain individuals for questionable reasons, misappropriate the drugs he seized, and release the detainees without arresting them. MPD Officer Rich Jackson also reported Officer Jindra to Internal Affairs after watching two separate encounters where Officer Jindra unjustifiably held his gun to citizens' heads. Officer Jindra was ultimately terminated in 2020 for violating department search and seizure policies, and the Internal Affairs Division referred the situation to the FBI. On November 6, 2020, the DOJ announced that former Officer Jindra had been charged in federal court with 6 counts of acquiring a controlled substance by deception, 2 counts of extortion under color of official right, and 3 counts of deprivation of rights under color of law. On November 2, 2021, following a 10-day trial, a jury convicted Officer Jindra of 3 counts of acquiring a controlled substance by deception and 2 counts of deprivation of rights under color of law, 1 count of which stemmed from the encounter with Mr. Brown. And on June 8, 2022, Officer Jindra was sentenced to 38 months in prison, followed by 1 year of supervised release. On October 11, 2022, Mr. Brown filed a lawsuit against former Officer Jindra and the city of Minneapolis, and on August 31, 2023, the case was dismissed after Mr. Brown accepted a $95,000 settlement. Overall, former Officer Jindra gets an F for behaving in an unprofessional and hostile manner throughout the interaction, searching Mr. Brown's vehicle without a warrant or any constitutional justification for doing so, and seemingly planting drugs in Mr. Brown's vehicle, potentially in an attempt to intimidate Mr. Brown into keeping quiet about the encounter. Now, while we do not know for certain that Officer Jindra planted the white substance in the vehicle, it would be consistent with his actions in other detentions, and he appeared to position his body so that the so-called discovery of the substance would not be captured on camera. Additionally, although it is impossible to say for certain, it also appears that Officer Jindra may have removed paper currency from Mr. Brown's wallet, potentially then using the same bill to plant the white substance.
We'll be out on Wednesday. I'll keep on the please.
Now, I would typically give an officer the benefit of the doubt in a situation like this where the body camera footage was inconclusive. But, given the criminal convictions that were later sustained against former Officer Jindra, I find myself inclined to believe that something even more nefarious than an unconstitutional search occurred during this encounter. As for Mr. Brown, I cannot rightfully assign a grade to an individual who was targeted by an officer attempting to find illicit substances in order to fuel his own drug addiction. While it is likely that Mr. Brown did not display his license plate properly, this is a minor equipment offense, and Mr. Brown did appear to have made a good faith effort to display the license plate in the back window. And although driving without a license is a more serious offense, it is unclear whether Mr. Brown was actually unlicensed in this situation or simply did not provide Officer Jindra with his driver's license. Regardless, I commend Mr. Brown for remaining calm and complying with Officer Jindra's orders during this encounter, while also taking appropriate legal action after the fact to seek recompense for the violation of his constitutional rights. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic that you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out my second channel for even more police interaction content.